Hi, this is Dwayne, and I'm with The Art of Frequency. You can find us at theartoffrequency.com. And I'm doing this video because people have asked me a lot of questions about my art, how I do it, why I do it, and what it does, more importantly, for them when they view it. So I'm going to try to answer all of those questions for you in this brief video. And I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully I can do some more here pretty soon. So to start out with, I started doing my artwork in 2009. It came as the result of a experience I had while working with some of the healing frequencies and energies. And I'm kind of a different sort of person, I guess, because I do have all the clairs. So I see, I smell, I taste, I touch. And when I do my work, it's always very interesting because I don't know what form the energy is going to come through. But at this one particular time, what happened is I saw an image and had a smell and a sound going while doing this healing. And it was so incredibly beautiful for just a second. I thought, I wonder what would happen if I could capture this image and share it with other people. How would it affect them and how would I go about doing it? Didn't give it much thought after that. And then that night at 2 o'clock in the morning, because I do a lot of my work late night, early morning, I woke up and I was sitting in front of the computer screen, and the image that I had seen was on the computer screen. And so it really amazed me, and it really spoke to me. And so I named the first one The Art of Frequency, which is where I got the name for the artwork that I do. It took me a year to learn what Spirit was doing through me on an unconscious level while I was getting up in the middle of the night and working on these art pieces. So I had to very patiently say, could you slow that down and show me the steps that I'm taking? How am I creating this? So what I learned from those questionings is that I use photographs. I tend to like use photographs because I'm a photographer at heart, so I take pictures constantly. And then I overlay those with fractal patterns, crystals, star nebulas, and most of my artwork has between 25 and 50 layers. Sometimes it's 100 layers that are in them. So it just kind of depends upon the piece. And I manipulate the transparency, the color, obviously. And because a lot of the photographs I like to use are more in black and white, which is kind of an interesting thing since they come out so vividly colorful and detailed. When I first started out, I wanted everything to be more of a kaleidoscope or nondescript thing so it would speak to the subconscious mind. Although over the last 2 years, I find that even personal art pieces I do, sometimes they're very kaleidoscopy and sometimes they're very realistic. For some reason, a lot of spirit animals have been coming up, power animals, and so they've been making their way into the personal art piece that I do. Why that happens, I don't know, and quite honestly, I learned a long time ago not to question things, just to go with the flow of it, so that's what I tend to do. So anyway, let me answer a few questions here, and one of the biggest questions I get asked is, how do you come up with your ideas to do these art pieces? Well, it's really quite simple. I dream them. I can feel an art piece coming up a couple weeks before I sit down and do them. And sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 in an hour stretch. Sometimes it takes longer. When they do happen, they happen very quickly. But a lot of times what happens is I have a dream. I keep a journal by my bed and I sit down and I write notes. Other times what happens is I'll be looking at a picture and all of a sudden I see the artwork coming out of the picture, and so that I know I need to use that piece of picture in the image. When I do the personal art pieces, what I do is I write down the person's name on a piece of paper, and if I have it, also their date of birth, because I find that helps me on a psychic level to connect to people. So I put those together. Before I go to sleep at night, I hold all the names of the pieces that I'm going to be doing and simply do a quick little prayer and say, whatever this person needs, let that art piece be created. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and find I've already started on the art piece, and I don't necessarily have to know what's been put into it. All I know is that it is working and it does do something. So for me, that's a real important thing. So that's how I go about the process of getting my ideas. Sometimes somebody will be talking to me and they'll say something, and that will spark an idea, and I'll see an image in my head, and so I try to take notes on that. That's another that they come in too. I do a lot of photographs of nature because I find nature has the sacred geometry and the symmetry in it already that makes the pieces together. So let's see. One of the other questions I get asked is, when you're doing a personal art piece for someone, how do you know what to put in there? And when you're doing the reading for them, how do you know what to say? Well, again, I don't know what to put into some of these personal art pieces. I have hundreds of files. When it's time to do an art piece, I open the files and I start scanning them, and whatever pops out at me, I throw it onto the canvas. Sometimes it doesn't end up staying there. Sometimes it does, but I make it an invisible layer because it doesn't artistically seem to fit into the place. So the energy of it's still hidden there, even though it's not something you can see with your eye. When I do the art pieces, the thing that I really love about it is they happen very, very quickly. And the energy really surges through me. And then when it stops, I stop working on what piece I'm working on. Sometimes I'll switch to another one. But when the energy's flowing and I have to start doing it, then it's time for that to stop, and I just wait. Now, kind of on an interesting note, one of the things that I find truly amazing about the personal art pieces is they change. I will do them usually the first day or two after the person has signed up for them. But then I let them sit for a week or two, because what I find is at some point I've gotten up in the middle of the night and unconsciously worked on them, or someone has, and I'll have a second piece sitting in the file, that person's name. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 progressions. And when it stops changing and I look at it and go, okay, this is done, I take and I sit down and do the reading for them. So here's how I do the readings in answer to that portion of the question. I put them on the scene. I do a little meditation prior to that, and sometimes that meditation for me is driving, because it kind of relaxes me and puts me in an altered state. Sometimes that meditation is working and living. At any rate, once I do the little meditation, I open up the piece, I look at it, and I ask what it is that's in the piece, and that it be revealed to me. And then I start usually from what draws my attention, and I blow the piece up big so I can see what's in that area. Then I turn on the recorder and I start saying what I see, what I feel. I do let messages from Spirit come through, because that's an integral part of who I am. The thing that I find amazing is everything that shows up in those readings tends to fit for the person. The other thing that I truly, truly find amazing about the art pieces that I do is and especially the personal art pieces. I always tell people, put this where you can see it. Print it where you're going to walk into it and hang it on your wall where you're going to see it on a regular basis, because there's hidden things in there. Those fractal patterns are sacred geometry that speak directly to your subconscious mind. So when they speak to your subconscious mind, even though you're not aware of them, it makes a change. And I get a lot of comments from my clients going, oh my God, as soon as I printed that and put that on my phone and put that on my computer where I saw it all the time, I started going through these changes. And this came up that I've been working on for years, and it got resolved. And I just think that that's truly amazing that the artwork does that for people. Why it does it, I don't know. How it does it, I don't know. And quite honestly, it doesn't make a difference to me. The fact that it does help, I think is just truly amazing. So I'm very thankful for that, and I try to be very grateful about it. Another question I get asked is, ooh, can you create an art piece of this for me? Well, the answer to that question is no. And the reason for that is Dwayne's really not capable of doing art pieces. I never have been able to do them. When I try to create an art piece, it looks bad. It does not work out. When I let these art pieces flow through and come through my dreams, they happen very quickly, some of them in 3 to 5 minutes, some of them in less than an hour. And the longest I think I've ever spent on anything is a week, and at 10 minutes several times during that week to make everything fit together. And mostly that was because I was interrupted and couldn't keep the flow going. So can I create a piece that you described to me? No, I doubt that I can. Unless it's something that Spirit wants you to have. And then, yes, I can do that if that's what they want. So another question I get asked is, what are your plans for your artwork? Well, quite truthfully, my big thing with my artwork is I think people should see them and view them and see what happens with them. I have been working on a deck of oracle cards for the last year and a half. And it's really kind of funny because recently, over the last year anyway, 90% of the personal pieces that I do for people turn out to be the cards that I'm going to use and match those cards. So I think that's truly amazing. Other plans for my work, I've done some gallery shows. I have the website. I have the Facebook page. If you want to look me up on Facebook, it's Art of Frequency at facebook.com. The website, of course, is theartoffrequency.com. I do have a blog on there, and there are a lot of incredible free things, like the 21 original healing frequencies that I did. A couple years ago, in 10 days, I was given these activation frequencies that came through, and so I posted those. They're available for free download. You can also order them for sale if you want larger size prints on those. So my purpose for my art is that people enjoy it, and that's all I'm really concerned about. I don't think I'll get rich off of it, and I really don't care. I have a job, and I do that job very well. So my art is just kind of an extension of a Spirit manifesting in my life, and I think that's really the only thing that's important. So if you guys have more questions about my art, feel free to message me on Facebook page or email me at Dwayne@theartoffrequency.com, and I'll do another video in an attempt to make that clear and answer those questions better. If you're interested in having a personal piece done for yourself to see what comes out and what effect it has on you, just go to theartoffrequency.com to the Art in a Mini Reading is what I call them, because I do about a 10, sometimes 15-minute reading And then you get the art piece digitally. You also get one you can put on your computer and your phone. And you get a print release form that allow you to print it in any form that you want, as many times as you want. And for $85, it's very rare to get a good 10-minute reading for $85 from anybody. If you are interested in personal readings from me that don't have anything to do with art pieces, you can go into DwayneRedWolf.com and schedule those. I do them on Skypes on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays currently. So you can schedule those and we can sit down and do a reading. I offer a 30-minute and an hour. I also do healing during those. So that's another option. Oh, let me answer this question before I go. Everybody wants to know why I use the name Red Wolf. I use the name Red Wolf because at my first visions, my power animal that showed up was a red wolf. I'm primarily Irish. I do have a little bit of Sioux blood in me, but I use Red Wolf as my artist name because of the fact that it honors the spirit side of me that connects the artwork and lets it come through. So that's a quick answer to that. Blessing, everybody. I hope you enjoy my art. It is for sale. Check out the website. I'm trying to do a lot of these video posts over the next year, and if I get a little slow on them, please feel free to let me know. If you have what you would like to have me talk about, send me a message as well. And that's really all I have to say. So blessings, and you guys have a good day.